We're up bright and early, we're loading up our plane, and we're heading into Birch Bark Lodge. Now you may remember a couple years ago, I was standing on that very dock talking about going on a bucket list moose hunt to Birch Bark Lodge. Well, this is how that hunt ended back then. Unfortunately, we didn't connect on a moose, but the Ontario experience up here was fantastic at Birch Bark Lodge. These experiences are going to be with me for a lifetime. What a fantastic wilderness-filled trip. Lots of new memories and lifelong friendships. Well, all good things come to an end. We got to take off, head to our next Ontario experience. Now, Mike and Kim were gracious enough to let me come back and close out that chapter on that bucket list moose hunt. This time, I am pulling out all the stops. I'm bringing in a secret weapon. Join me as I jump on the plane and fly in to Birch Bark Lodge.
Hey, I've been fishing in Ontario for well over 40 years and have some great fishing memories, not to mention some very close friends. Ontario has some of the best multi-species freshwater fishing in the world. Ontario has a special place in my heart. The Ontario experience captures all of this and more as hosts Troy Linder and Sjodin explore new places, meet some authentic characters, and experience world-class fishing and hunting along the way. The Ontario experience is the next best thing to going on the adventure yourself. And who knows, this unique show just might give you some ideas for your next fishing or hunting trip.
I couldn't have been more excited for this trip. From my departure in Minnesota, my adrenaline was on overload. And the short drive to Pickle Lake Airways gave me time to think about the awesome moose hunting and walleye fishing to come.
After you arrive in Pickle Lake, it's a short flight out here to the lodge. You'll notice how really remote you are as you're flying out. You won't see any roads, any power lines. You get here, you land, and it's just complete solitude. The wind, the birds, the trees, the fishing, it's just a very, very relaxing trip. When we purchased it, it didn't really have a name, so Kim did some research and found out the lake name Wigwassance means birch bark or birch tree, so we named it Birch Bark Lodge.
So I have left you hanging long enough. When I'm talking about the secret weapon, I'm talking about Glen Boyd. This guy put me on a giant bull last year. What do you think? Are we gonna go do it again?
We're gonna do our best to do it again. It's warm. It is warm. I mean, I'm wearing shorts and it's moose season, so it's gonna be tough, but we're gonna put some time in, some hours in, and see what happens.
But for now, we're gonna go catch a few fish, and then we start hunting tomorrow. You know, when you come up here in the fall, and this is exactly why I love coming up here in the fall to Ontario, is that, you know, hunting is such a adrenaline rush and it's so much fun, but to be able to fish and hunt during the same amount of time, and I got one right there, look at that. To catch fish and hunt, I mean, it really serves both of my passions, fishing and hunting. And where else can you do it but in Ontario? And you know what? Eating some shore lunch, when you come in for a lunch or have that for supper, when you're hunting moose, is there really anything better? I don't think so. Come up to Birch Bark Lodge and you can catch a ton of these. Boyd and I just got out here. We haven't been fishing 5 minutes. They caught a small little one, they caught this back to back. And again, we're gonna start hunting tomorrow. But in the meantime, to catch a bunch of these beautiful golden dandies, and whether you're throwing them back or eating them for lunch or supper or whatever, it doesn't get any better than that. This segment is brought to you by Tourism Northern Ontario. Look at this.
Look at that. That's it. That's it.
I was going to say, hold on, I just saw a mark. Sure enough. You see a mark, you're going to probably catch a fish up here.
Any better
They
weight?
are hungry. They will not let too much go. Walleye, walleye, walleye. Another birch bark walleye. And there are lots of these. If you want to come up here, the funny thing is like I've been up here multiple times and I've caught so many walleyes. One time, I was up here a couple years ago, filming with Jeremy Smith, and we were like, you know what? Let's see how many walleyes we can catch in the next 30 minutes. We have to go in, and we were fishing crankbaits, which takes a while to get in when you catch one, cast them back out. But we caught 30 walleyes in 30 minutes. Oh, get some of that.
It's got a bit of weight to it. Like, it might be okay. I'm going to say it's bigger than what you've caught, Ty. I'm not sure how much bigger.
The thing is staying down. That is oh man, that is a beautiful fish. Nice job, buddy.
Oh, hey, don't be like that, fish. You and I, we're going to bond it. We're going to get along just fine if you let me get you out. That would hurt me. We're a long ways from a doctor. Although I could be a doctor, if I'd have just been a little smarter. But honestly, that's perfect size for a pan, right? Like, how do you not have surf and turf when you're up here? It's beautiful.
Oh no! Oh no! Not another walleye! Seriously, this is like crazy fishing. Oh, double, double, double!
Welcome to Canada. Have a double, hey?
Birch bark double. That's what it's all about.
Easy.
Double at Birch Bark Lodge. But you know what? I get to go hunt with my good friend Boyd, and it takes a lot of these to make up to a moose. That's right. Hey, let's get back to Lodge. We're gonna have a little supper. We're gonna be up in the morning, and we're going after the moose.
We are.
Day one, moose hunting, Birch Bark Lodge. My main goal right now is to go after a bull. If we see a cow, at least the first couple days, I think what we're gonna do is set up on her and call, and because typically when you got a cow in the area, it's breeding season, so a bull's not too far away. It's gonna be an exciting trip. My adrenaline's already really getting up there, so let's get the day going.
The whole moose hunting thing for me started as a young man walking with my dad and putting on the miles. It's a little different style of hunting than we get to do up here with the seasons being a little later and stuff, but it still installed that passion and drive to try and shoot a bigger moose, and now I love it because I get to see other people shoot moose, and guiding Ty last year to that giant was a pretty spectacular feat, and yeah, maybe we got a little lucky, but I'd rather be lucky than good any day.
We spent our first morning scouting by boat, our heads on a swivel for moose and moose sign. We stopped in a few areas to look and call, and then would keep moving for even better habitat. This is pretty much a warm-up to put our hunt together for the week, and everything got off to a good start. This segment is brought to you by Go Hunt Ontario. So we're at Birch Bark Lodge. We're up here on a moose hunt. What better thing to have for dinner than moose? Well, Kim, owner of Birch Bark Lodge, has her own Moose Wellington, which is a spin-off of
Beef Wellington.
Hey, let's get this recipe and see what we got for a finished product.
The first step in the Moose Wellington recipe is to sear moose steaks on all sides in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Following that, cover in saran wrap and cool in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. Next, add portobello and white button mushrooms, shallot, and garlic to the food processor and process on high until smooth. Heat another tablespoon of olive oil to the sauté pan and cook the mushroom mixture until the moisture is gone. Add a half a cup of Madeira wine and cook 2 to 3 minutes more and season with salt and pepper. Let cool completely. This creates that scrumptious pâté that will line the inside of the Moose Wellington. In a rolled out, slightly thawed puff pastry sheet, spread the chilled mushroom paste onto the pastry and cover with prosciutto ham. Next, brush moose steaks on all sides with mustard and place on the ham. Gently roll up the pastry and seal the edges. Transfer the Moose Wellington to a lined baking sheet and brush with whisked egg until coated thoroughly. Make 3 vent slits on top of the pastry and place in the oven for 40 minutes at 400 degrees. Then garnish with chives and cranberries. Let rest 5 minutes before serving.
Wow, Moose Wellington. It looks so delicious. You know what, everybody, when they get back from camp tonight out hunting, are gonna be smiling, and we're gonna be full tonight, Kim.
I hope so. These are high bush cranberries as garnish and chives.
For our day 2 hunt, we towed a canoe with to push a bit further back in the bush, where we were hearing moose respond to our calls. All indications pointed to moose in the area, and I was excited to get to our spot and set up.
fresh because it hasn't turned brown yet, so it's happened in the last day to 2 days. If you look down the shoreline, it looks exactly like this. They have been mowing this down, which is awesome. We actually set up down the way the day before yesterday. Did hear a bull call back. We gave it a break, did some scouting, came back. You know what? This is the only place we've found so far with browse, which means they're not just passing through, they're actually living here.
Birch Bark Lodge, what are we here for? Moose hunting. Last night, Willie, another guest here at Birch Bark, closed the deal on a beautiful, what was it, 47 incher?
47, yep.
It was a giant. Is this your first moose hunt?
My first one that I got to kill a moose on, actually, yes. Very first. This was nice. He walked up out of that patch of timber he was in, and we spotted him from the river, docked our boat, jumped on some high ground, and put a bullet in him, and it was over. He sat right down.
That's what it's about, putting them down right away. You don't have to do much tracking on that one last night. Now it's my turn. When I came around the corner, I could smell that bull. He was full of musk, which means they're in rut. It's mid-September, and they are rutting right now. We actually went out this morning, ran into a cow, which is good news. There's a bull that we came in behind us too, so they are starting to fight and find those cows. It's the rut. The funnest time of the year, big bull moose.
And I hope you get one tonight so I can help you haul it out too.
Me too. I can't wait.
Did you know by late summer and fall, a mature bull will carry a rack of antlers that may extend more than 70 inches between the widest tips, but an average range is 45 to 55 inches. The heavier main beams broaden with large palms that are fringed with a series of tines, usually less than 12 inches long. Antler color can vary too, from a pale, almost white to brown with dark tips. Mature bulls usually lose their velvet by late summer and will shed their racks in late fall or early winter. These are just a few interesting facts about the prized, majestic animals known as a moose.
As you can see by this morning, the weather has changed. The fog is thick. We've been experiencing some warm temperatures during the first few days of our hunt. 60s, 70s, what happens, moose don't typically move a tremendous amount, except for maybe early and late. The beauty of this hunt has been we have heard moose almost every single time we've been out. We've been talking to them, we've been chatting back to us. We know they're there. In fact, another guy in camp shot one a couple days ago, so we know that they're around and they are rutting. We could smell that moose that he shot. It was full of musk. Super excited. Last night we sat on another spot. We went the other way on Wigwassants, and it's clear as day. He wasn't that far away. So we're going back this morning to see if we can get him. He got hung up last night. I think he was on the other side of a creek, but he's definitely in the area. Weather's changed, like I said. They're gonna start moving.
There's two beds. A bed there and a bed there. We're definitely in their bedding areas. We found a good spot here.
No. That's awesome. 2 years in a row.
What did I tell you? The secret weapon. This guy can call, man. We've been working so hard all week. We've ran into heat. We ran into the wrong wind. But you know what? They have been talking to us all week. We've been calling to them. They've been vocalizing back.
Even with the heat, but we just get a, whoa, okay, they're there. And then we'd get all excited to go hunt there, and we couldn't hunt there because the wind was wrong. And you can't fool their nose. You just can't do it.
You know what? Let's get our stuff together. We're going to give her some time. We're going to get back to camp and grab a couple guys back there, because guess what? We helped another guy at camp this week.
We earned help.
That's right. He shot a nice bull, and he said, if you guys shoot one, come get me, because I'm helping. So. Look at this thing.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, and it's about eating them, right?
It's about eating them, but you know what? It doesn't matter. They don't come in a small size.
No, they don't make a small moose.
This has been just an awesome hunt. Like I said, I pulled in the secret weapon for this trip, and it paid off once again. You know, it's about camaraderie and spending time with friends. Boyd and I, in the off season, after last year, he called in a giant bull for me, and we connected on that one. Stayed connected, become good friends, and I asked him, hey Boyd, how about you come and do it with me again at Birch Bark? He was all over it.
I'm glad I did.
He made it happen.
Yeah, man.
This is so fun. Moose hunting is just a pinnacle of big game hunting. And you know what? This has been...
Oh, yeah. It's been a tough week. We've had all kinds of weather. Then we'd hear a bull grunt, we'd be excited about that, and the wind would be wrong for it. The next day we'd have to leave it. And that's just moose hunting part of it.
That's hunting in general. I mean, you gotta deal with the elements, and you gotta deal with, I mean, you can't pattern moose.
No.
So you gotta go find areas that look like we were hunting today, and you gotta make adjustments. It wasn't ideal, but we found a point adjacent to where we actually saw her come out 2 days prior. We gave it some time. We knew there might be bull in the area too, so.
Hey, this late in the hunt and how hard we worked, we're not that picky.
We got a day and a half left of hunting, and they're calling for a lot of rain and some thunderstorms, so I've shot a big bull, and I'm a big game hunter. I love trophy hunting, but it's also about what you're putting on the table. And you know what? This has been an adrenaline-filled Ontario experience. With any moose kill comes a little work to field dress the animal. In our case, hunting past a beaver dam a ways up the creek, there was some work to do. But with the help of Glen, lodge owners Mike and Kim Pearson, and my new friends, it all came off smoothly. All I can say is what a great hunt, and something every hunter should experience at least once in their lifetime. And yes, if you're wondering, there will be plenty of Moose Wellington in my future.